Tonight the buzz around Valdebebas feels different, quieter on the surface, tense underneath, because the conversation has shifted from transfers and tactics to a single fragile joint, Eduardo Camavinga's ankle. He is 21 but already at a crossroads. His talent is unquestioned, a blend of athletic surge, elegant passing and defensive bite, yet the sequence of interruptions and a training sprain have left him chasing the rhythm every coach wants from a midfield fulcrum. With Xabi Alonso now at the helm, arriving with one of the most attention-grabbing managerial resumes in Europe, Camavinga's recovery is not merely medical, it's strategic. Alonso did not come to Real Madrid to tinker gently. He came with a plan to reshape midfield dynamics, and that plan assumes certain pieces will be available and reliable. That is the rub. Physical availability is only the first step. Because Camavinga's injury robbed him of crucial pre-season minutes, the more complicated task is psychological and tactical, restoring confidence in the ankle, rebuilding sprint tolerance and match tempo, and re-embedding him in a midfield that will ask more pressing positional and pressing responsibilities than before. The club has been unequivocal about avoiding rushes. Medical staff and coaching analysts are designing tailored sessions that step up artificial intensity drills, controlled contact, and progressive scrimmage time so that each return milestone has objective data behind it. In practical terms, that means Camavinga may come back as a high-impact substitute first, then as a 60-75 minute starter in a shielded role, not because the coaches doubt his ceiling, but because modern recovery is about continuity, not one-off heroics. The narrative of redemption is potent. Imagine a young Frenchman, once a peripheral figure behind the likes of Luka Modric and Toni Kroos, suddenly claim a defining role as the midfield's engine under a manager who trusts him. Yet the counterweight is equally real. Another setback would not only cost minutes, but could change selection patterns, force Alonso into short-term tactical compromises, and invite speculation about squad depth. So what happens next matters beyond a single lineup sheet. The timeline being discussed internally hints at an aim to have him train with the group before a key fixture after the international break, and to consider him for competitive action once objective markers, pain-free high-speed running, repeated cutting manoeuvres, and simulated match load are met. There are three clear scenarios: a steady return that makes him a starter capable of controlling games, a rotational scenario where he becomes their high-energy injection in the second half, or a frustrating pattern of stops and starts that sees him managed conservatively for the season. All three trajectories have tactical consequences. A fit Camavinga gives Alonso a dynamic box-to-box option who can press higher and link transitions. A partial Camavinga forces reliance on different midfield shapes and possibly short-term signings. A prolonged absence pushes the manager to rewire his ideal system. For Camavinga personally, the stakes are existential. This campaign is a chance to remove the injury-prone label and become a dependable cornerstone, something young talents often need to prove in a single breakthrough season. For Alonso, early managerial capital is on the line. Demonstrating the ability to integrate and protect a high-potential player while still delivering results could cement his reputation. Failing to manage fitness risks, creating an avoidable narrative in the papers and among impatient fans. Fans should watch the coming weeks not just for an update on minutes or a training photo, but for the small signals. Full-speed touches without hesitation, involvement in tactical sessions. Minutes in friendlies measured by load, not flair, that indicate whether this is a return scripted for success or an exercise in caution. The club's message is simple and sensible. There will be no romance with reckless returns. The priority is continuity. If Camavinga threads that needle and shows reliable availability, he can become the defining midfield figure Alonso needs to realise his vision. If not, Real Madrid will adapt and the conversation will quickly shift to contingency plans. Either way, this story is a test of modern football's most delicate balance between explosive talent and the patient engineering that turns potential into consistent performance. And it will shape not just a player's season, but the early chapters of Xabi Alonso's tenure at Bernabeu.